All right, so open up your Illustrator. Open up your drawing tools exercise that we've been working on. If you want to make a new one, if you like to start with a clean slate, that's totally fine. I'm going to go into my same one. And surprise, surprise, I'm going to make some more artboards. So, review. I went to the artboard tool down here, clicking new artboard, that little like twisted up post-it note. I was talking about this yesterday as far as like alignment, so that's putting things in line. So there's these pink lines that show up, they're called smart guides, and they will show you when you are, they're going to pop up when you are like aligned with other things on the page. So it says intersect, and that will give you alignment. So I just made 3 new ones. I don't know how many we'll use today, but okay. So you guys know me. I like to sort of clear my workspace off, so I'm taking away these little menus right here. And we are going to learn how to use the blob brush right now. So everyone find a picture of something that they like on the internet that they might want to draw. If you don't know what you like or you can't think of anything, just type in flower. And choose from that. I'm going to choose this flower. So if you guys want to choose the same one as me, that's totally fine. You can also choose anything else you want. So once you have your Google image up, you want to go to View Image. And that's going to bring you to the full-size image. So we like to have high quality photos if we can. And then I'm going to click and drag that off to my desktop. If you're really organized, you might even have a graphic design folder that you drag it to, but that's okay. I haven't had you do that yet. So, and then you're going to go back into Illustrator. This is the way that I'm showing you right now is the most high quality way of inserting an image into your Illustrator file. You can directly drag into the Illustrator, but it won't be as high quality. So now we're going to go to File and Place. And then it's a window's going to pop up and you're going to choose the file that you want to place. So I think this was mine, flower. Yep. Enter. And then there's going to be a little set of like, it's just going to sort of show the picture, but it's not going to place it until you click. So you can either click directly, and if you click directly, it will just place it at the size it is. If you want to have it set a specific size, you can click and drag, and it will put it at that size. File up here, and then place. So right now there's an X over this image, and if I were to zoom in on it, you'd see that it's a little bit pixelated. So we've placed the image, but we haven't embedded it. In order to get it high quality, we're going to embed it. So once you have it placed where you want it, there is this little button up here that says Embed, and that will put your image right there. And now it's much higher quality. So it is still a little bit pixelated because I made it large. So if I get way in there, you can see the pixels. But this is as high quality as this picture is going to get. All right, so I have this lovely little flower. So far, we've used shape, very, very general shape tools. It would be difficult to make a drawing of this. We would be able to do it with some of our Pathfinder tools, probably, but it would be tough. So I'm going to show you some some more precise tools rather than just shapes. So we're going to go to blob brush. So if you go to paintbrush, and go to blob brush, this little guy, and then you just start painting. This little guy is going to make, when you let go, it's going to make a shape. So this thing that I just created is a whole shape. If I use my direct select tool, you can see that there's little anchors all along the edges of it. So I could actually change this shape if I wanted to. I can just drag the handles out and make it totally different. We could also, right now this shape is white with no outline. If I wanted to, I could give it an outline. It doesn't have any anchors on it. So did you click it with your direct select tool? So you have your blob brush. Yep. This is your direct select. Oh. So if you click it with that, it has anchors. It's hidden under the paintbrush. So your blob brush, my blob brush is a pretty good size right now, but I might want to make it, I might want to be more precise. As you add blobs, oops, whoa, if you want to make your blob brush bigger or smaller, you can use the bracket tools, bracket keys. So those are above your return. They have a square bracket and a curly bracket on that key. So the left bracket makes your brush smaller so you can get much more precise. And then the right bracket makes it bigger so you can cover more area. As long as you're using a brush that has the same fill and the same outline, the shapes as you paint more over it, the shape is going to combine. It's going to make it a compound shape. So right now I have this, and then if I paint over this a little bit with my blob brush and add more, the shape will just get bigger. Ooh. So right there, that's not precise enough for me, so I'm going to undo it, Command Z, and make my brush smaller with the bracket tool. So I'm just going around this little guy. There we go, I have a petal. So go over parts of your image. When you start tracing, I'm going to show you something that makes life a little bit easier if you're tracing an image. So there's, I want everyone to open a layers window, so it might be open already, but go into your window menu and go to layers. And if it's already has a check mark by it, click it and then click it again so that it gets the check mark again, and then it will reappear so you'll know where it is. Layers. And probably all of you just have a layer 1, I would assume. If you turn this little triangle downwards, so I'm right here, guys, if anyone's... This little triangle will go side to side, and there's going to be a lot of stuff under there because that is everything that you've done so far in this project. And it creates a new little sub layer every time you do something new. So right here, the layer that I'm looking at that I have selected is our image. And we can tell what I have selected. If I click this eyeball, it's going to take it away. That means we can't see that layer. So if you want to see what layer you're working with, you can click the eyeball and it will take it away. And then if you don't want to move this, if you want this to stay here and never move, you can click next to the eyeball and it will lock it. So now I can't do anything with that image. I can move my petal because that's not on the same layer, sublayer. But my image is now locked, so I can do whatever I want on here and it's not going to move. So that's just a nice little trick for when you're tracing stuff and you don't want it to move. Another thing when you're tracing, I'm going to unlock that image again and keep that selected. So right now, I want this thing that I'm tracing, I don't want it to be so bright because I want to be able to like see that I'm doing things over it. So there's up in this top menu, there's something that says opacity, which means how transparent something is. So I'm going to change this opacity to 60%, and that makes it a little bit lighter. So it's like we're using tracing paper over it. It's personal preference. Maybe you like having the picture really bright, and that's totally fine. I like to have mine. You can make the opacity way lower, then it starts to get sort of hard to see. I usually set mine at about 60. So now I have my image. It's a little bit transparent, and I'm going to lock it so it doesn't move. Okay? So spend a couple minutes using your blob brush and going over your image, trying to make a little bit more complex shapes than you were able to make before with the shape builder and the shaper tool and just the actual shapes. And remember that using the brackets will make your blob brush bigger or smaller depending on how much space you want to fill up.